glasses together, my reading glasses together. Why? Because I need my reading. Oh, hey, Instagram, it's me, T, from the Pattersons, taking the trains to bed. Oh boy, yeah, today's a Monday. It's a me day, but that's not the thing. Yesterday was Sunday. It's supposed to be a reading day, and I couldn't get my Instagram going. Well, I was struggling. I said, what's going on? What's going on? And finally, let me tell you what happens. When I go to sleep at night, I wake up about, somewhere between 2 and 4. I wake up early, right? And sometimes I get right up, but most times I don't. I sort of sit there and meditate, I don't have, like for instance, I don't have dreams. I don't remember my dreams, but I have visions, when I daydream, it's really a vision for me. Anyway, that's the point. So this morning, I'm saying, hey, why don't you do what everybody do, what you're supposed to do, which is now that's true. I was thinking, there's got to be something on, something's going on. I tried it again, didn't come on, but I could get my YouTube. I said, oh, this is crazy. So now I was walking to the wisdoms this morning, because I work out with I usually don't do it on a Monday because I was here, so I go there on a Monday to give them their Tai Chi and their Qigong. We do this exercise. And I walked there, and on the way there, I stopped and said, hey, why don't I just uninstall my Instagram and reinstall it, because that's what, when something goes with the computer, what you do, or when something else happens, you unplug it, and sure enough, it came back. So I posted a couple of pictures just to make sure like that. But so I figured, since I missed reading yesterday, because what I'm supposed to do, let me tell you what's supposed to happen. On Sundays, I'm supposed to read to you, right? And then riff off the reading. On Mondays, I'm supposed to talk about me. What can I say? Because I'll tell you some other time. A couple of months, I'll tell you. Next month, I'll tell you. On Tuesdays, I usually talk about, U.S. politics or stuff that happened in the U.S. Wednesday, stuff that's happening in the world. Thursday is audio drama day. Friday, it's like a week wrap-up, something like that. Saturday, whatever comes to my mind. And I've been trying to go down to like 3 days a week. But stuff be just happening all the time. And, I'm a radio man, so yap, so like that. Anyway, so I'm going to combine a me day and a reading day together. I have books. Now, when I was very young, I had to read everything. But now there's an art to reading. Like when you read a novel, I don't read a lot of novels. He said, read a novel, you go through it, you see how you live the thing. Like when he had those James Clavell novels, when Eric Lusbader, you live in that culture. That's what it's meant to do, right? But academic books, you're not supposed to read them like a novel. You're supposed to see what you read a chapter here, maybe a couple of weeks later you might read something else. Something happens, I know it's in that book. You sort of breeze through it. But when you need to access it, you get it. That makes sense to you, don't it? Anyway, now I'm not a money person, but if I had money, and if I had, we're supposed to be building a library here in La Jote House, but if I had a library that I was stocking a library, the very first two authors, I would get the entire collection, the entire collections, right? I have the Frederick Douglass thing in Virginia. I have collections in Virginia. Don't worry about it. But if I get everything they've written, not necessarily in this order, but it would be Gerald Horne, all his 50 plus, whatever. How many he's up to now? 50 books, right? And I would get this brother here that wrote this. Oh, you can't see this backwards for you. But John Mason. Now, John Mason, this particular one is written 2016, or published 2016. Arisha, New World Black Gods, right? And it goes through all the Yoruba gods and gives you the correct accents and stuff like that, or all the gods. Put an introduction, all that stuff, whatever, like that. And it starts off, with Legba as the first one, right? And as things go in the Yoruba pantheon, Legba is usually first, but then Ògún is right there. But there's I won't get into it right now. We'll see what happens. You get one of his books, but these books are expensive because John Mason is a real scholar, like Gerald Horne is a real scholar, and you get one of his books, That's for the library. That's for nobody. It's like when you go to a reference library and you can't take the reference book out. It's like that, right? Anyway, so I bought this from him a couple of years ago when I was in the States. And he actually gave me a reading. We spent some time together, which is a huge honor. You know how John Mason's like the scholar of the Yoruba culture. You know, I'm just telling you. Anyway, I'm a child of Ògún. I know a lot about Ògún, but I usually do the short thing, like the colors. Ògún's colors, like in Nigeria, is blue, and when the Yoruba culture went over to Yoruba went over to Brazil, it became candomblé, and it was blue and white. And then when it came up through Cuba to the United States, the colors became a green, black with a little bit of red. That's why I wear a certain cap, and people think it's like a communist cap, you know, like that. But they don't know. It's one side is black, the other side you turn over is green, and then you have the red star there. So it's really my Ògún cap. When I'm wearing that, I'm in battle. No, I'm not in battle. I'm ready. You know, I'm always ready for battle. Anyway, so I learned a lot about that. But one of the things about Ògún, just for a short, because people are not really interested in it. Let me get to the Ògún chapter right now. Is that when you see a picture of Ògún, usually he's got the grass skirt and the naked top, you know, and a machete. That's how you do it. But now John Mason has, now remember that's the classic Ògún from the bush, from the Yoruba culture as dictated by Nigeria. Here's John Mason's, but he got this for Ògún. So you can see that? There's the machete there, right? I guess he still got the Nigerian thing like that. But there's the rifle, right? A gun, right? Ògún's the warrior, the ultimate warrior. And so I particularly like this depiction. I know you can see the grass, the big muscles in the grass. You can use that one, but this one here, my ninja. I'm telling you, this is the real. This the Ògún I relate to. Anyway, even though I'm not a gun person, not a gun person. But I usually tell people Ògún, everybody knows, is they say is the god of the Orisha of war. Yeah, okay, battle, combat, whatever it is. Hence the armor and the hardware, whatever. Not the armor, the soldiers wear. But also because the iron is his thing. You know, he's the one who used the iron machete to cut the grass so the other Orishas can come on through to get down to the earthly realm. You know what I mean? They couldn't do it without Ògún. They don't tell you that. Don't worry about it, right? So the blade steel like that. So therefore, he has a relationship with medical equipment, with medical. Since I was a medic in the Air Force, you know. So just you know. So that would count as an Ògún kind of thing. But the other thing, remember I told you about the cutting the grass, trying to get the other reasons down. That's like architecture. So he's the one for architecture. So those are the three I usually use, and I usually leave the I usually use those three. Talk about, you know, the Orisha of war, conflict, whatever it is, the Orisha of medicine, and the Orisha of architecture. You know, now when architecture doesn't mean buildings. You know, you plan things out, planner like war. You know, see, let me give you an example. Like Shango is the general, you know what I mean? But it's Ògún that plans the battles. Just letting you know. Plus Ògún's, I don't want to get that. So anyway, I'm going to read you a couple of things about Ògún here that you may not know. There's some basic things, but I highlighted it. See, I got the highlight there. Right? This is from page 23 of John Mason's Orisha, New World Black Gods. Right? He goes through all the Orisha, or goes through Orishas. And this is the second from the first paragraph of this thing. So, Ògún is the sustainer of life. Without Ògún, the universe as we know it would not exist. That's a profound. Ògún is the sustainer of life. I don't know if that means that we have a lot of children. I don't know. Anyway, without Ògún, the universe as we know it, the universe as you know it, I'm a nowist, by the way, you know, Now, the universe as we know it now would not exist without Ògún. Without, I'm a child of Ògún, without mine. Okay? So let's go to the next highlighted thing that I have here. Ògún's symbol, stop it, sorry about that. Ògún's symbol is the knife, hence that big machete there. This is a real knife, bro. Okay, I'm gonna skip a sentence. Ògún is the first to eat among the Orisha because the knife is the first thing that tastes blood in any sacrifice. Now this is he goes in a second. Odu Ifa tells state that Alegba must eat first. Think about that. And in ritual feasts and bloodless offerings, he is presented his food first. However, in blood sacrifices, it is Ògún, the only one allowed to take a life, who eats first. See, these, see the whole thing about Yoruba religion. You know, I was at one time. Where was I? There's this philosophical question: if the devil pointed a gun to your head and said, "You got to choose a religion, I won't blow your brains out," you had to choose a religion. What would you choose, right? And I always said I would choose Voodoo. You know, that would be. I think that's because of that Catholic backlash. Because Catholicism, if you look at Catholicism, it's nothing but the cliff notes of the Yoruba culture. That's why the Holy See, the Catholics, they don't mess with Voodoo. You know, they can mess with any other religion, they don't mess with Voodoo because it's basically that's the essence of what they are. We won't get into that right now. You'll have to learn that on your own. And then, so that's but in actuality, I actually like the Akan religion. You know, in fact, my symbol, I have a thing of wisdom knot as my personal symbol, and it's from the Akan peoples, West Africa. Everything's West Africa. Anyway, so that's lay that on you. Then I have this other thing. I just had one thing. I love 3 words. Ògún. This thing says, Ògún is force. I'll read the rest of the sentence. Sentence paragraph. Ògún is force, locomotion, contraction, expansion, and give and take. He is technology and is the application of technology that builds the societies of the world. So Ògún's technology is not just the technology that actually makes the world a better place. Without Ògún, there ain't no civilization. That's what it is, right? It's kind of interesting because all my life is very weird, man. I've always been at the beginning of certain technological things, like say computers. At BAI, I was the first one to have it wasn't a portable, literally it was a portable computer. The computer I had, the only other people had is like medical people and the CIA and people like that. So, brother, how'd you get it? Can't tell you. I mean, I can tell you, but I'm just saying, just the way I roll. Even my phone, everything I have is like the best of the best. This phone here is that I'm talking to you through is a OnePlus 7, right? I first learned OnePlus a long time ago when they had pop-up stores. I got a OnePlus. I really like the technology, but the OnePlus 7 is the best of it all. And I think they're up to OnePlus 10 or 12 right now, whatever they're up to right now. But OnePlus 7 is still the best. In fact, when I go to India, I might get another OnePlus 7, or I'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm just saying, those are the kind of. I'm just always weird. I'm just always right there when some new stuff is happening. It's a very, I guess I'm blessed that way. Let me see, what else do I have highlighted here? Remember, we're talking about me, and I'm giving you some hints, so I think I'm going to read it. Was that it? Oh, that's all I have. That's all I highlighted. Josie's next. Oh, here you go. Oh, no, here. Oh, right here, sorry. Yeah. Now, this is kind of interesting, too. When I first went to Thailand, about, 12 years ago, whenever it was, went to Thailand, more than 12. But when I first went to Thailand, it was strange because I went to a place called Pai, Thailand. And the dogs are pretty vicious there, kind of stupid because you just go to the side of the road and get you have to throw rocks at them or something like that. In fact, when I was in Belize, the dogs don't bother you in Belize because, you just bend over like, they leave you alone, right? But I noticed these dogs bother me. I said, what does this dog bother me? And then recently, when I say recently, lately or whatever it is, like when I was in India at the beginning of the year, and I'm going back in January, when I was in India at the beginning of the year, I'm walking down the road, and only other people be walking. I'm dark skinned like everybody else, whatever it is, but they would bark at me. I'm going like, what the heck's? The other people walking, women, men, very short, tall, thin, fat, and the dog would sort of like pick me out. And I said, this is very strange. I had to start carrying the stick, of course. But the point is, like, this is a joke. Every time you see Mahatma Gandhi, he's got the staff right there, walking, saying, that staff, not because he was off balance, it's because he got to beat off the dogs. There's a lot of dogs in India. In fact, Oroville had this rule. Mother made a rule that said, no dogs in Oroville. And then, so of course, human beings want to do what they want to do. And so people gradually had to have dogs. People said, there's no dogs in Oroville. And they said, no, this is a pet. So you can say that. It's my pet. It's my pet. When I go back now, I'm going to go to the authorities. I say, you got these dogs up here, they're just barking at people, whatever have you, and you're not supposed to have any dogs in Oroville. It's supposed to be pets. Now, if you have a pet, that means that pet's supposed to be trained by an owner. So unless these people are training their dogs, they need to get rid of them. Okay, that's a hard line. I'm just saying, right? You make a rule, people break it, you got to reinforce it. Anyway, the reason why I'm saying this is because Ògún's favorite animal, and by the way, up in Gubevo, I'm in DeBrother, but in Gubevo, where me and my wife stay, she has a dog and a cat. The dog loves me. Oh, actually, I had any dog that I had. Dogs just like me. Except for these, I don't know what kind of dogs they are, but usually me and dogs are like we're like that. And the dog, my wife's dog loves me. I mean, absolutely loves me. Sees me and just goes nuts. Like that. Gotta take him for a walk. Anyway, Ògún's favorite animal is the dog. The dog, a domesticated wolf, was the first predatory animal domesticated by man. Ògún likes all dogs, but he prefers black dogs. He favors the dog because it is faithful and devoted, because of the way it hunts game. The dog runs down its prey by exhausting it. Reminds me of the Wasan people. You run anyway. And because the dog plays so many roles in society, the dog is known as man's best friend. And it shares with Ògún the trait of undying love. It's kind of interesting because even with my how can I say it without being whatever? I've had many relationships, but I never quit the relationships. People always leave me. There's things like, I can't compete against your, I can't compete against your art, blah, blah, whatever excuse. Sometimes things just happen. They just fall apart. It's unbelievable. It's amazing that this next Thursday rather, me and my wife will be married 10 years. But the way we have our arrangement, the way we are, I'm not always up under her. I think that I'm just too much for people. It's like the Cancerian in me. It's like a water sign. I sort of immerse the person with water. So I'm very touchy about that. So even situations, I'm not in too many situations. I can only be with it's just like maybe 3 weeks at a time. I'm visiting people, whatever. The COVID sort of threw things off. I was with people longer, but usually I'll be someplace for 3 weeks, whatever, or some specific thing, something like that. Then I'm gone because I'm like a mystic wind, But I can't be someplace. I'm just too. I think people. I don't know. It's some dominating. It's not a dominance that's like a dominating thing. It's like a water thing. Permeation. It's a permeation domination. Okay. Anyway, so that's the dog. But yeah, me and dogs are cool. Right? When we did Oya, the play that did in New York, the award-winning Oya, I'll say it that way. Me and Matthew Finch. I heard he passed. Peace and blessings on his eternal soul. Who was a sound. We did Foley together. I directed the show, but we did Foley together. We had this one scene that was talking about Ògún, and so we just took this belt, and Ògún, like he'll just throw the meat to the dogs. They fight over it, something like that. So I had one. Our sound effects. I put one piece of the belt, one part of the belt in my mouth, and we go back and forth. It was interesting because you could hear it when they put the sound effects. Oh, why am I going off on that? I'm just saying. Right? And here's the other thing. It's sort of yesterday I was trying to do this, but it was like too windy or something like down here. But whenever wind comes and spoils my thing, I would say, well, that's Oya. Oya is the wind, kind of. With the grave and the graveyard and stuff like that. But she's like wind, And they go like, because that was Ògún's first wife, and she did it wrong. Well, what can I say? Because that's just the way Ògún runs. But so every time a wind comes up, I said, man, that's Oya. I'm trying to. That's somebody. Okay, the last paragraph of this chapter on Ògún, and we'll end here. Ògún is the master of secrets because he knows what things are most powerful and valuable and where those things are located in the earth and in the self. Let me stop there for a second. It's interesting because as a stage manager, as a director, I don't read people like that. I gotta read people, but I know how to cast people, and I can see the essence of the person, yourself. He represents professions that form guilds or tightly knit fraternities in which secret internal information about those valuable and sources of power is passed down from one generation to the next, which is kind of interesting because in my fraternity, they start a new line, but I was in my fraternity at a very young age, and it's the same thing. It's a close-knit thing. And even when I create my audio drama groups, they're close-knit, and I give them certain things that makes them close-knit, right? So I'm trying to say, I know that Ògún, I am for a bunch of reasons. I know I'm a child of Ògún. I just want to tell you that. And if you ever run across it, well, you're not going to run across it. If you run across a John Mason book, the man's a real scholar. A real scholar. So, not one of these, well, whatever. Get yourself some scholarship books. It'll do you good. Just put it in your library. Every once in a while, you pick it out, and you read it. Okay. Talk to you all later.